Hi everybody, this video is about the query letter, which is a really important part of the whole nonfiction and fiction publishing process. It's kind of where it all begins. It's like a cover letter when you apply for a job. You could spend 4 years getting a really important college degree, but then when you go on the job market, if you don't have a great cover letter, if your cover letter is full of typos and mistakes, or if you typed the wrong phone number at the top of your cover letter, you won't get the job in the end. It can absolutely destroy years and years and years of work. So imagine that you spend several years refining and researching and polishing and perfecting your book, and then you go to write the query letter, and if you just rush through it and don't put a lot of thought into it, then that literary agent will never even see your proposal. So it's a really important part of both the fiction and the nonfiction publishing process. So let's zoom out a little bit, because like, how does this look in a writer's process, that is? You don't actually have to send a query letter to anybody for the purpose of this class, as this is just preparatory work and thinking about the actual realistic steps involved in publishing your book. So let's imagine the the class finishes. You're really excited about your book proposal project. You think you do want to submit it to an agent. You think you have a good hook. You have a nice outline. You think people would actually read it. You really want to write the book, see where it goes. Awesome. What's your first step? The query letter. It's your gateway into the publishing world. The query letter is typically one page. It is usually 3 or 4 paragraphs. I'm going to have an example or two in Canvas that you can look at of successful letters that I've used. And it's a pitch. Typically, it's like description of the book is paragraph 1 for nonfiction. Fiction, there could be variations. And this is just my model. There's many different models for this. Typically, paragraph 1 is something like, here's what the book is, here's what it's called, here's how many words it would have, here's what it's about, big overview, some kind of hooky language, some kind of like, ooh, there's a mystery or something to draw it in. Second paragraph is a little bit longer form overview of what the book would cover. Third paragraph is about the writer, and then sincerely signed at the bottom. Is one page, right? You don't have a lot of space to work with, so you really have to get the language just so perfect, and has to interest. I think, a technique that I've used is starting out with an interesting first sentence. And that's useful, like, in a lot of types of writing. This is just one strategy too, but did you know that more than, or not even did you know this, but 50% of Wisconsin farms have disappeared in the last 10 years. I just made that up. I'm not saying that's true. Just that's a type of statistic, evidence, fact that could really grab a reader's attention if your book is about the disappearance of small farms. 50%. I might keep reading that. That sounds interesting. Well, why? Why did they disappear? What happened? Where are they going? Where's the food coming from then? What are farmers doing? Think of the struggle and the destitution and the pain that must cause, and all those sorts of. So grab your reader's interest with something like, wow, I didn't know that. If it's a history, then maybe, never before have the secrets of Romanian violin making ever been fully encapsulated in a single book. My work, the whatever your title is, the unknown history of the Romanian violin, will demonstrate through compelling case studies and historical narratives the secrets of the workshops of the master craft people who left an indelible imprint on the art of their craft. Really grab the reader with powerful, compact, meaningful language about your book. And that will take you a really long way. It takes a lot of revision. These won't be perfect in the scope of a class. As an educator, I'm thinking about, well, beyond the classroom, how would you actually go and sell your book? You would probably have to revise this letter quite a few times until it's quite right. It must somehow grab your whole book. A way of learning about this style of writing is by reading samples of query letters, which are numerous on the internet. They're around. But you can also read book descriptions and blurbs. A lot of times that language that starts in the query letter ends up becoming back of the book language. It's the hook, it's the hit, it's the punch, it's the something breaks through that makes sense, and it makes the reader go, wow, yeah, that is interesting. Think about your favorite books. What is their hook? Why did you pick it up in the first place? What interested you about it? What problems does it solve? What mysteries does it detangle? What new and exciting information does it present? And then you package that into a letter. Who do you send it to? I mean, that could be a whole class, probably. That's a really difficult question. There are agents, literary agents, who represent nonfiction. You can kind of search through the listings and find agents who really specifically are looking for your type of work. Do they represent, if you wrote a self-help book, you want to approach agents who represent self-help books, and maybe even specific self-help books about your subject, like psychology, or a specific subfield of psychology or something like that. If it's critical essays about the farmscapes, then can you find an agent who has worked with other books about farming or the environment or environmental science or something like that? Yeah, you can. That's one avenue, is literary representation by an agent. The other avenue is directly to acquisitions editors who work at presses. But you must be careful that you are selecting editors who accept unsolicited manuscripts. Many publishers will only review nonfiction, and when I say manuscripts, at this stage I mean the proposal. Many editors will only look at nonfiction book proposals from authors who are represented by a literary agent. Not always, though. My first two books, I went right to an acquisitions editor who they accepted unsolicited, unagented proposals. Always with the letter. Start with the query letter. If they like the query letter, then they will ask for the proposal. If they like the proposal, then you move forward from there. Then usually there's a contract. It gives you about a year to write the book. That's a standard 12-month contract to write a book. Then you send them the book, then they edit it, then they copy edit it, then they lay it out, and then it goes into print. So that query letter is the first stage of the process. A very important first stage of the process. It has to be great. It won't be great at first. We're just drafting. We're just thinking and drafting and starting that process. It's like a cover letter. If you wrote a cover letter for a job application, maybe in a professional writing class, it's not perfect the first time. It's not the exact cover letter that you would actually send to the place that you want to work. It's just the start of it. But an important start. You must start somewhere. All right. There's much more to be said about query letters, but this is just to wrap the head around it, what it is. It's a persuasive, my book matters. Check out my book. And I matter. I'm the writer who is qualified to write this book. Typically 3-paragraph format. Hook and information about the book. More of a general summary of the book and why it matters. And then about you, a little writer's bio and who you are. And that makes a pretty good query letter. That's a format. That's one template you can use.